I noticed it last time, but not like up, and it wasn't up during the work study. So I don't know what its deal is.
Thank you very much for getting this from me. This is
We're driving.
nice.
Thank you.
Ready to go?
Your daddy, you know the trail, you're supposed to go backwards. That's just what I got to be. So, just fine. Thank you for checking with your husband. I appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem.
We're just trying to figure out. We have a friend. So we had that too.
Call council meeting for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. Laura, could I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Dodson.
Here.
Urban. Brokey. McCann.
Here.
Spendy.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
And Mayor Jessup.
Here.
And sixth council, and Mayor present.
Thank you. Would everyone please rise for the pledge of allegiance led by Councilmember Burbank.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a beautiful, beautiful fall evening. Let's get right into this. First thing I'm looking for is to approve the agenda. There are no changes or corrections. So with that, motion approved. Motion by Nate to approve, and a second. Second by Brent. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a couple of public hearings tonight. The first is 1.2, public hearing to establish Development District Number 2, and we go to Community Development Director Troy Klecker for that. Good evening.
Good evening. The City Council, in previous discussions, approved moving forward in concept of a financing program to incent developers to develop single-family housing. For such a program, the city would finance an amount equivalent to the cost of hard surfacing, curb and gutter, and sidewalks for development up to 5 years. We are currently working with a developer on such a program. In working with our legal counsel, the best way to provide that financing is through a loan agreement. In order to provide the loan agreement for a housing development, we must establish a development district for the city, which requires a public hearing. After holding a public hearing, the city council must approve the attached resolution establishing a development district, in this case 22, and adopting a development program, which we have in the packet. And then a loan agreement can be approved for such development participating in that program. So the incentive program provides for a loan in the amount that would be equivalent for the cost of hard surfacing the streets, curb and gutter, and sidewalks for up to 5 years. This would be paid back through a loan over a 5-year period plus interest. And the loan agreement must be approved for each development that plans to participate in this program. So we have two resolutions. One is for establishing a district and one for the program itself. And we had some discussions at the study session here. So in your packet then we do have a resolution approving the Owatonna Residential Housing Development Incentive Program. And again, the high points is we're financing it over a 5-year period to be paid back with a 2% interest rate over the city's bond rate. Maximum loan amount would be $20,000. per lot to be paid back as lots are developed and sold. The loan would be issued when the developer provides receipts of all the improvements being done, and then we would be paid back as the lots are developed with the balloon payment at the 5-year period. So we also mentioned whether or not this should continue into 2026, and the wording I have in there is that the program is going through December 31st of 2026. I think we should add, provided that the city has funds to do so. And it would allow us that flexibility should we be in a position where the financing such a program doesn't make sense, that we have that ability to say no.
Okay, thank you. With that, we will open up the public hearing at 7:04. Anyone that would like to speak on this, please come forward to the microphone. Seeing no one coming forward, I would look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Close the hearing.
Motion by Doug to close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the public hearing is closed. We now go to council questions on this. Are there any questions from council? Hearing none, the first resolution is 1.2.1 to establish the development district. And I would look for a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is passed. Next up is 1.2.2, Owatonna Residential Housing Development Incentive. And Troy, do you have anything to add to these?
I would just add that wording, that we would leave it open for 2026, provided that the city has the funds to do so.
With that, are there any questions on 1.2.2? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve Owatonna Residential Housing Development Incentive Program with the addition that Troy just mentioned.
Thank you. We have a motion from Brent. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are now up to our second public hearing. It's 1.3, 5-year street construction. And we go to Finance Director Emily Burns for that. Good evening.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Tonight, we have Todd with Ellers here to break down the annual 5-year capital improvement plan for this year with planned street repairs for $1.8 million.
Thank you, Emily. Council members, Todd Hagan from Ellers and Associates. I was here on August 6th. When we called for the public hearing, to set the public hearing for tonight. We also talked about the issuance of street reconstruction plan bonds. So the bond sale would be October 7th, but in between your August meeting and October 7th, we needed to hold a public hearing to authorize the adoption of the plan and just a preliminary issuance of the street reconstruction plan bonds. So we need a public hearing basically to move this this financing forward. So in your packets is a 5-year street reconstruction plan. It only has the 2025 expenditure in it, which is not uncommon to do. So I think I mentioned that maybe we just do one of these as we move forward each time instead of putting 5 years of projections into one plan. So that's what you have in front of you tonight, and then there's a resolution for you to consider the adoption of the street reconstruction plan, and then just a preliminary issuance of the bonds. I won't be back again until October 7th to actually go through the bonding part of this. So for any questions you folks have, we talked about it a little bit in August already, so we're at the public hearing right now. So.
So with that, we will open the public hearing at 7:08 p.m. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak on this, please do so now. Think no one coming forward, I'd look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
Motion by Doug to close the hearing, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Any council members comment on this? Seeing none, we'll now move on to the resolution, 1.3.1. Ms. Burns, do you have any other comments on the resolution?
The only other comment would be that, the budget impact of this will be debt service levy related to bonds, and the levy will be in place, over the 10-year life of the bond. And, staff recommends approval of resolution 51-25.
Thank you. Any questions for Emily on this? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Don to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries, thank you. We're now up to Mayor Jessup. Mayor, have you got anything for us this evening?
Nothing tonight, thank you, Council
Thank you.
President.
That brings us to the consent agenda. Consent agenda consists of city council meeting minutes, other board commission minutes, licenses, permits, and miscellaneous items, all grouped together for the council to review prior to the meeting and vote on collectively. With that, I will entertain a motion on these consent agenda items. Motion by Brent to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are now up to the action items. First thing tonight is 3.1. It is our financial report, and Doug, take a breath. You got ways to go. We turn the finance report over to Vice President Doug Ross.
Thank you, President Rainey. Following will be checks over $20,000 to be paid for your consideration. There's a lot of them, and I'll read them as fast as I possibly can, so we're not here all night. So we have $202,675 to Bosch Automotive, TIF, year 4 of 9. $23,670 to Sunstone, TIF, payment 5 of 9. $331,170 to Costco, that's TIF, year 4 out of 9. $22,000 to Cristeel Truck Equipment. $82,371 to Daikin Applied Americas, that's a TIF, year 4 of 9. $48,291 equity growth for 111 Vine Apartment Building, TIF, year 6 of 26. $21,822 Fairway Stores, TIF, year 10 of 26. $124,638 Integrated Process Solutions, Autumn Hills and Cedardale Lift Station. $42,463 KAB Properties, TIF, year 2 of 9. $229,408 to Legion Subsidiary Holdings for Public Safety Center, City Hall, Generator, River Springs Water Park, and the Community Center. $27,793 to Mound Owatonna, that's TIF, year 4 of 9. $94,534 Nero Engineering for the wastewater treatment upgrade and expansion for June of 2025. $33,405 to the Owatonna Area Chamber of Commerce lodging tax for June. $81,355 Owatonna Hospitality Marriott TIF 30 to 26. $48,894 to Owatonna Motor Company for a Ford Explorer for the Stormwater Department. $27,584 to the Owatonna Pearl TIF, year 3 of 23. $28,000 for ProPet Economic TIF, year 8 of 9. $440,273 to Rice Lake Construction Group Wastewater Treatment Plant Expansion, pay number 38. $28,802 Short Elliott Hendrickson, 18th Street Reconstruction Services. $22,609 South Point 2, 18th Street Apartment, year 4 of 10 TIF. $32,045 South Point Owatonna, that is year 8 of 14 TIF. $153,070 Southeast Service Cooperative, August 25 Health Insurance Premiums. $80,314 Steve James Excavating for 10th Avenue and Ridge Road. Repair an overlay prep project in 15th Street, 2 structures and a storm pipe. $27,494 US Bank for the entire monthly credit card purchases, June and July. Other expenditures of $254,059 for a subtotal of $2,254,721. Added to that is HRA housing assistance payments for a grand total of $2,622,477.33.
You heard the report, do you guys want Doug to read it again, please? With that report, I'd look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Don to approve, do I have a second?
I want to read it again. Second.
Second by Brent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Finance report has been approved. We have two ordinances tonight. The first one is 3.2.1, 25-1. It is the salary adjustment for elected officials, and with that, we go to City Administrator Tuma. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a request to have approval for the reading of, the first reading of the proposed ordinance of 2510 to amend the section of 32.001. This will authorize an increase in salaries to be paid to our elected officials beginning January of 2027. A little background on this. The ordinance in January 2023, 2618, an ordinance of 1577 was created to have the salaries of our elected officials reviewed every 4 years. And with that, the first salary that was updated was in 2021, which went into effect in 2023. And so this is just in order of the next 4 years to review the salaries. And so with this, it would be adding $100 to each elected official per month, and it wouldn't go into effect until January 2027. So with that, I would look for, staff looks to approve, for approval.
Thank you. Any questions for John? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any further discussion? This being a ordinance, I would look for roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Dodson.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
McCann.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Voss.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
All 6 ayes.
Thank you. Our next ordinance tonight is 3.2.2, 25-11. It is the first reading for update code section 113, alcoholic beverages and hours for Sunday sales. And once again, we go to City Administrator Tuma.
Yeah, this ordinance is to update a code, a 2015 code, and the state legislative amended this back in 2015, and it was to change the hours that alcohol could be served on Sundays. It changed it from 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. until it ended at 1 and moved it to 2 a.m. And so this is really just some house cleaning to get our local ordinance to be in line with the state. And so with that, staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Nate to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is an ordinance. Still needs a second. We did roll call, I'm sorry, roll call
Councilmember Dodson.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
McCann.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Voss.
Aye.
Green.
vote. Aye.
All 6 ayes.
Thank you, and that is passed. We have 6 resolutions tonight. The first one is 3.3.1, residential, resolution 45-25, final plat for Mineral Springs Estates Edition. And with that, we go back to Troy Lecker.
All right, thank you. So this is the final plat of Mineral Springs Estates. Preliminary plat approval was previously given by the council. This is Prairie LaSalle Partners development. This is north of Lee Street and east of St. Paul Road up by our River Springs Water Park. The property did go through a PUD, planning development zoning for the entire development. So this is a plat of that whole development, 82 plus acres. this plat really lays out the first phase of the development and then lays out a lot of outlaws for future phases, so 36 new lots are being created, with 13 outlots. Services would be extended from 7th Avenue to service this first phase. And then there would actually be a construction access off of St. Paul Road, and that was really at the neighbor's request there, that all that construction activity would not go through the development. A number of wetlands on the property, that's laid out in the development, and all the easements are placed where Owatonna Public Utilities and City Engineering need them to be. And Planning Commission did give final plat approval. Stephen Wheeler came from Chicago. He's a developer here, and I know there's been some questions about the timing of this, so I would maybe invite Stephen just to say a few things about the development and the timing of it all.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you again. We've been at this for a while, but we're at a really, really great place. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. First of all, the city staff has done a tremendous job in helping us to address all of the things, not only for the Mineral Springs development, but for the future development that will come from this. One of the things that I think is very important about this project is that it actually puts in place the infrastructure for a much larger amount of development beyond Mineral Springs. It opens up a lot of land to the city, not land that we own, but that are owned by others within the city, and to create other opportunities for housing and other things. So we're excited to be a part of that process, and very thankful that the city's been patient with us and supportive of the project over time. This initial phase that's being approved allows us to create a range of different housing units and housing types, so that we can more accurately gauge what that demand is going to be. It's designed in a way that's complementary to the housing that's there, complementary to the new housing that's being created, but with the flexibility so that as we go to the later stages of development, that we're developing a product that's consistent with the consumer demand. When we started this project, we had a lot of discussions around the city and a number of very interesting conversations with Federated, because as one of the larger employers in the area and one that's driving a lot of the population that comes into the city along with a number of the companies, we recognize that the needs for the housing is diverse, but that there are specific people that live today, that work today in Owatonna, that want to live in Owatonna and can't live there. So we're very excited to have gotten to this point for this final approval. We look forward to the contributions that we are committed to making, public green space, open space, connectivities, walking trails, etc. That will be not just for the development itself, but for the neighborhoods that are in place today and the neighborhoods that will be in place over time. Our plan is to start with breaking ground on this as soon as possible. We're going to have an early winter, it seems. It's going to be 44 grading in 2 days. So the groundbreaking will probably be sometime in the spring. But we've worked consistently with city staff, Woodson Engineering. All of you know Craig Britton. He's a fixture around the area. Troy's worked with him a lot, and so we're really looking forward to being able to break ground in the spring. Our plan will be to work with local developers and builders, as well as to work with local brokers. So our goal here is for this to also be an economic activity, an economic development activity that supports the existing businesses within the city of Owatonna.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Nate to approve, do I have a second? Second by Don. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're now up to 45-25, the final plat for Mineral Springs Estate. Once again, Troy Klecker.
So we just gave approval for that, so the land development agreement, would be for this Mineral Springs Estates, really lays out the, what's required for the city and, the developer. In short, the developer is required to install the public infrastructure for the development, including sewer, water, stormwater facilities, streets and sidewalks. We didn't deviate too much from this development agreement from others. The next agenda item is the loan agreement, which is a little bit different, and I'll explain a little bit of that at that time. So staff recommends approval of the development agreement.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is 3.3.2, resolution 46-25. That is a land development agreement, and once again, Troy.
All right, so this is the new piece. This is part of the incentive program that was earlier in the agenda here that you approved. We set the development district, we approved the program. We really needed to go through and work with the developer to develop the parameters of that program, which is kind of why you're seeing it at the same time here. But the incentive, again, is to finance an amount equivalent to the curb and gutter, the hard surfacing of the streets, the sidewalks, driveway aprons, and final landscaping for a residential development to help get housing going in Owatonna. So this is the first project under that. The loan agreement was put together by Capital R Development Consultant. Ellers had some involvement in this as well. And the total amount in this case would be $704,724.30. That does include a 5% contingency. The payment would go to the developer once all of the improvements are made and receipts are shown, and then the payment again is over a 5-year period. As lots are sold, we will get payments of each of those lots when they are sold. We have liens on the lots that we would sign off on, and then at the end of the 5-year period, any outstanding balance on that loan will be paid back by the developer. So staff would recommend approval of this resolution.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve. Motion by Nate to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is 3.3.3. Resolution 4725, correct? Oh, 3.3.4, I'm sorry. This is resolution 48-25 for an accessory warehouse, and from Troy again.
All right, this is a request by Larry Schultz in LSO Farms. They currently have a facility out in the industrial park off of Park Drive, organic eggs. They are looking to construct an 11,520 square foot accessory building just to the west of the current facility. This does require a conditional use permit because it does exceed the size or ordinance requirements for size of an accessory structure. They would meet all the setback requirements. They would look at additional access off the Park Drive, and the additional parking needed to meet the ordinance requirements, and they are proposing storm water filtration basin. So this did go to a public hearing at planning commission, and the planning commission did recommend approval, with the list of conditions there, and staff would recommend approval as well.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are now up to 3.3.5, resolution 49-25, preliminary plat. Preliminary and final plat for Culligan. And once again, Troy Linder.
All right, Culligan is proposing to replat the property, and the Culligan property was actually a number of separate parcels that they are looking to combine into one platted lot. The intent is to get it into one lot, and they do plan on putting up a storage facility on the property. Really nothing changes as far as any utilities or anything with this plat. They're just merely putting it into one property description rather than the numerous ones that are in now. We did have a public hearing at planning commission. There was a couple of neighbors there that objected to the warehouse or wanted more information on the warehouse. The warehouse itself is not part of what is being requested for approval with the council. It's merely the addition, the platting of the property into one parcel. So the storage building would need to go through all the requirements of any other building, meet building code, meet stormwater requirements, meet our setback requirements and everything else. That will be handled separately. But we did have a couple of neighbors that had some questions, and in some cases opposed to some portions of that that project. So I wanted to mention that, and a letter was submitted by one of the neighbors, which is in the packet. But the planning commission did recommend approval of the preliminary and final plat, again, combine the multiple lots into one single lot, and staff has no objection to it and is recommending approval as well.
Thank you. Any questions for Troy?
Okay.
Don?
Troy, the letter from Randy and Tammy, that would be addressed later in the process, correct?
Well, there is a process that goes through. It would not involve the neighbors, though. They would need to, unless a variance is being requested for the actual project itself, it would meet zoning, it would meet setbacks, and we would make sure it meets all the requirements. If they wanted to deviate from anything that's permitted at that location, then we would need to go through some sort of variance request. But from what we can see, there would not be any variance that they're requesting for this.
Okay, so there's nothing that we have to worry about from this one.
Yeah, it'll follow the same process as any other construction project. And in this case, they would be following everything that's needed.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions for Troy? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Brent to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Final resolution tonight is 3.3.6, transfer duties of local board of appeal and equalization to Steele County. With that, we go back to State Administrator Tillman.
Thank you. Yeah, this one I request council approval of a resolution adopting an open book meeting format for property assessment appeals and for formally setting aside the local board of appeal and equalization by permanently transferring those duties to Steele County. The Minnesota state statute provides for a local level review of annual property assessments made by the county assessor. And adopting the open book meeting format to consider an assessment appeal is accessible and sensible approach for kind of a direct approach for the resident or property owner to make that directly to the county. This was a discussion of topic last meeting during our study session on August 19th. The transfer of the duties eliminates the step with the city holding that annual local board of people and equalization meeting, and all other duties for the property valuation remains the same at the county level. So with that, staff would recommend making this change.
Thank you. Any questions for Jen on this? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don, any further discussion? I do have one comment, with this transfer, we were the last city within Steele County to have it go to the city council. And so this kind of moves us in line with our neighboring communities and having the county address it. With that, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Now, staff reports tonight, we had Ed Hoffman, our fire chief, and you brought someone with you tonight.
I got someone in the audience.
Good evening.
Good evening, council, mayor, thank you. I have just a quick update, some of the stuff that's going on with the fire department lately, so I've got a couple slides, always like some pictures. So things I wanna cover tonight, again, a little bit of recap on the July 28th storm that we've been working on, some staffing changes we've had recently, some of the events we participated in, and talk a little bit about some of our trainings, inspections, and some cool stuff we have coming up in the future. So I'll zip through that. Again, the storm, some of this is recap, but as you know, we had windstorm come through July 28th. The primary damage was just the number of trees down throughout the city. A couple of pictures I just took, this is downtown, there was some damage to sidewalks. Here's our debris pile. The police helped me with taking some pictures, aerial pictures that we could submit to the state with our request for emergency funding. So you can see how much debris we had there. A little bit of recap, again, right after the storm, we did an initial damage assessment, just to see are we over the county threshold, and our initial assessment was around $200,000. Based on that, we requested the state to come in and do a preliminary damage assessment. They came in on the 19th. We worked with Homeland Security, Emergency Management, folks from the state, and we came up with, so Steele County, we had a little bit over $918,000 worth of damage. And that's direct damage, that's debris removal, and disposing of the debris. Then on the 20th, the county emergency manager submitted a request to the governor to request state disaster assistance under Minnesota statute 12B.30. And basically what that is 75-25, where they'll reimburse us 75%, we pay 25%. That request has been to the state, and as of Friday, I haven't heard anything back yet. That is in the governor's office now. So, questions on the storm? Not a lot's changed since the last time I was here on that. Okay, got just a couple of pictures, or aerial pictures. Just an estimate there, again, the square yards, and it's 20-30 feet high, but it was over 1,700 square yards, our estimate of our debris pile there. You see they've been making a lot of progress. I was down by there today, so they got maybe a third of that shipped up now.
Where's that going?
That, I forgot where they're hauling away. Sean's not here, so he's been helping coordinate it. We have a company from the cities coming in that's chipping it up, and then they're gonna dispose of it. And off the top of my head, I don't recall where that's going. They're the ones they helped us many years ago too, when we had a lot of storm debris, so same organization that's helped us before. So a couple of changes now in staffing. So the first one, some paid on call firefighters that we have. So these three started with the fire department back in January, as new paid on call firefighters. Part of the process they go through, their first about 6 months, they're going through we call it 1001, it's the basic firefighter training. We partnered with Riverland College. They just completed that, and now they've started their probationary period, where they're responding to calls as probationary members, and then they're going through sort of on-the-job training, where they have skills they test out on each month. We plan on them being fully done with those by the end of the year. These three, again, we have Isaac, and they have other jobs within the community. So like Isaac, he works full-time with Mayo Ambulance. Justin in the middle, he's a resident, he's living at the station, works for Owatonna Heating and Cooling. And then Kate, on the right there, she's a teacher at the school district here. So we're excited to have them, their training's going real good. And then here just a couple weeks ago, we had 3 new firefighters start. So here we have, I'm gonna mess up names, so Taylor, he works for Blue Earth County Environmental Services, their waste management there, a lot of good experience with that. Luke in the middle works for OPU, another person for OPU, and then Dalton on the right is also with OPU, so we really appreciate the employers supporting them. Some of these employers let them come to a lot of trainings and stuff. One note with Dalton, he actually started with the previous group, but due to some scheduling issues, he couldn't start the training, so he's going through the initial training with them. And they just started here a week ago. They'll be in their initial training till the end of the year, and then they'll start their probationary period. Then another one, we had a full-time opening this summer, so on July 28th, we promoted from within, Mitch Terpstra, who's one of our paid-on-call firefighters, became a full-time fire equipment operator. He went through about a month of training where he was working, day shifts while getting to know inspections, how to run the trucks. Then he did a few weeks where he was working as an extra firefighter in the truck. And as of yesterday was his first shift by himself, working with the commander. So he's fully trained, working shifts now. So we're excited to have Mitch in the full-time role. Then the next one you're referring to, we have Jacob DeShield with us. Just started here a week and a day ago as our assistant fire chief, fire marshal. Excited to have him on board. Comes with a lot of great experience. Most recently, he was working as deputy fire marshal with Golden Valley Fire. And then prior to that, he was working Brooklyn Park. So we're excited to have Jake here. I'm sure you'll see him around a whole lot. He's been coming to a lot of these evening meetings, budget meetings and stuff with me, so learning a lot of what's going on here. Next, just a couple of highlights, some recent events, some great events we did. Both these ones I'm talking about tonight, we actually partnered with OPE. One was Night Unite. A number of you guys were out with us that night, getting out to block parties, meeting the members of our community. As we're out on there, the fire staff, we attended over 20 parties and contacted over 500 residents. So as we're going, you can see a lot of truck tours. I was out separate meeting with people, so it was a great night. And thank you guys for partnering with us and being out with us that night. Another recent one, we did a first responder night with the adaptive baseball team, where police, fire, we played baseball with them. We've done it for a few years now. It's a great night. The kids love it. The staff, police and fire that are out there have an awesome time, so we're real excited about that. Had a great time out there with them. As we've been going, training continues to be a big priority for us. A couple of things here, what our regular training is. Last time I talked a little bit about this. Some of the training we do regularly each week. We have a training assignment that the full-time staff do just on their schedule. So today the 2 firefighters on duty, they did their training. So they have an assignment each week they do when they're on shift. Twice a month we have the whole department in, the second and fourth Monday in the evenings, all the paid-on-call full-time staff. We're doing training on that. We do a monthly full-time staff training. So next Monday, all the full-time staff work all day, and we'll do our training, we'll have our staff meeting and stuff on that day. So a chance for the full-time staff to train on some of their technical items. And one thing we started a few years ago here is doing our SWAT training. We found having the small groups, when I got all 35 firefighters there, it's easy for someone to maybe stand in back. You don't get as much hands-on. So we do monthly SWAT trainings. Each full-time firefighter has a squad of 3 to 4 paid on call, and they meet together and do some hands-on drill. Again, it's 4 or 5 of them. A lot of hands-on stuff that made our drills go a lot more effective. We had more hands-on time. Tonight, Commander Brace is working with his squad over there. We're practicing actually trench rescue training that we'll be doing next month. And the picture I have up there is from our trench training last year, but we'll be doing something similar here this coming month on that. As of the end of July, we had over 2,400 hours of training logged so far. So about half the year we had 2,400 hours. So that is a key thing, keeping us safe. And we focus on that a lot. Code enforcement, so fire safety is another big thing. A couple of our stats can continue to do inspections, working on processes, trying to make sure things aren't slipping through the group cracks and stuff. Over 322 rental inspections, and that's over 1,200 units that we've inspected. So getting through on that. Fire alarms, sprinkler permits, again doing inspections on that when someone applies for a permit. Normally there's multiple inspections for it, but so far we've done 48 year to date. And then our favorite weed nuisance, 582 inspections on that. So looking forward, some of the upcoming things we have. Normally we've done a chili feed. Our Relief Association has chose not to do that. The attendance has been going down and things like that. So we're actually transitioning to more of a traditional open house this year. So working on some details, but scheduled for October 5th. We'll have an open house. The theme this year is lithium-ion batteries, that's a key thing, so, and that's a nationwide topic for open houses, so we'll be talking about that. But we're working on, having some partners come in, different displays and stuff, showing off our fire station, talking about the future, where we're going, things like that. Another exciting one is Women Explore Fire Day in Minnesota. So this is a program that started, I think 2 years ago up in Harrison area, Black, up that area, where they did it. It was a program to get women in and just show them what is the fire service. It doesn't need to be guys in the fire service. Open it up. They had a vision now to take this statewide. So on May 2nd next year, this is gonna happen statewide. We have one of our firefighters in Owatonna here, she's helping, she's part of the committee. We're gonna be one of those whole sites here in Owatonna. Each region in the state is gonna be doing that, so we're excited to have that. And, a lot of exciting building with that, so there'll be more details as we're coming on that. Some cool things we have coming up in the future here. So with that, see if anybody has any questions, other stuff we're doing there.
Any questions for the chief? Great info.
Fire department
Thank you.
appreciates your guys' support and everything, so thank you.
We're now up to the public comment portion of the meeting. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. Approach the microphone, sign in, state your name and address for the record after being acknowledged by the council president. Speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to deliver their comments. Council Vice President Voss will be timing and hold up a hand after 1 minute 45 seconds to notify the speaker they have 15 seconds to complete their comment. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments. The city council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. With that, the public comment period is open.
Good evening, my name is Richard Hammett, I reside at 104 East University Street.
Good evening.
Recently, those of us along my street received a notice from the post office requiring us to install mailboxes at street sign. I initially didn't have any objection to this until my neighbor pointed out to me that it's going to be across the street. So I can no longer feel safe sending my children to go fetch the mail, since they would have to cross the street and not at the crosswalk. So, I don't know what the city can do, if there is anything that can do, but that is my concern this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary Jones, 995 Ridge Road.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here tonight with somebody's name's already signed. I'm going to take it as a picture. This is a light meter. This measures light in what is called luxes. It's a measure of light. And so naturally, like any good dad, I marched my kids into Middle Springs to see how quick we got to 0 luxes, meaning where the naked eye cannot see is 0 luxes. So Jeanette passed out some of these, and you can see we took different pictures of the light meter, and it went at 7:53, which would have been the last half hour of the hunt. It was at 13.2, went down to 5.2 at 8:01. Look between 8:06 and 8:11, what happened? How quickly that light went down. It went to 0.9 at 8:11 and down to 0 luxes, meaning you can't see anything at 8:16. So, also, I had one of my kids sit 20 feet away, standing 20 feet away, not 20 yards like the hunters should have, but 20 feet. All photos are taken on the path, by the north stand. They're all untouched and taken with just a cell phone. I'm not smart enough to do anything else with it. 8:08 p.m., 15 minutes after sunset, the light meter readings were 2. Can you see the little girl in the picture? She's up in the far left. 1 minute later, look how much darker that got. My daughter is right where the pink circle is. So if you go to page 3, the light meter reading is almost 0 at 8:14, 21 minutes after sunset, so you're still hunting for another 9 minutes. But see the little boy? He's way over to the right. You can't see him. I can't either. I circled him in blue. So there's him. So next page, page 4, there's 2 little girls standing there. 8:17 p.m. is already down to 0. Circled them in purple. So, and because we couldn't see anything at all. So the next page, page 6, we're leaving, and you can't even see anything then, but when you look up.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Seeing no one coming forward, we are up to council comment, and first up tonight is Councilmember Dodson.
School started today for a lot of kids, so kids are gonna be out, walking around on the street, running out in front of cars, keep an eye out for them kids.
Great message. Councilmember Burbank.
Nothing more to add.
Councilmember McCann.
Nothing to add.
Councilmember
Nothing
Stenby.
to add, sir.
Councilmember Voss.
Lots of airtime for me now. Okay. No, I did want to just take a second, thank Troy, Klecker, and Greg in the development office for all the housing stuff. We work on housing nonstop, as do they, and getting a program that hopefully is gonna help here was great. So diligence, perseverance, all those good words. It's been 3 years probably we've been working on this, so thank you for all the effort on that.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Just want to second what Nate said, school started, please, please, please watch your kids, please be safe.
City Administrator Tuma.
I have a couple of items. Just wanted to note that I received a thank you letter today in the mail, and it was about our fire officers and fire department responding to a fire at Bridgewater facility. They had a mechanical fire, and they just wanted to note, timing of Chief's feedback or his updates, that the Owatonna Fire Department deserves to be recognized for their quick action, and they showed up within 5 minutes, and she was quite impressed and said a thank you note. So just want to acknowledge that great work, and also want to let you know it's Thursday, and we have downtown Thursday, or that other item. And so I'll be there along with the Chief Rundell and Chief Hoffman down at the city booth, so come visit us. And just a reminder that we do have our tree pickup this Friday at Central Park. We had 32 people reserve trees about a week ago, so the goal was 50, but so there's 32 trees to be picked up.
Okay, that would be referred to as Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
thank you. For me, yeah, once again, Troy, for the housing, he told us years and years ago that we needed apartments. We kind of looked at you and, okay, every apartment that's been built has been filled. And now with single-family housing, there is a need in our community. So I agree with my fellow council members. We're excited to take this journey.
And hopefully this is the first step in seeing a lot of single-family houses being built within the city. With no other business before us tonight, I would look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Nate to adjourn, do I have a second? Second by Brent, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? We're adjourned, thank you.